Top 12 greatest paintings of all time. Not named the Mona Lisa. 12. Impression, Sunrise by Claude Monet, 1872. Pictured here is a portrait of Monet by Rembrandt. Impression, Sunrise, is a famous painting by the French artist Monet. It depicts the harbor of Le Havre in France at sunrise with boats and ships floating on the water, and the sun emerging from behind the clouds in a fiery orange and yellow hue. As the title suggests, the painting is considered a seminal piece in the Impressionist movement, characterized by its loose brushstrokes and emphasis on capturing the fleeting effects of light and color in the natural world. Monet's use of bold, contrasting colors, and his ability to convey the atmospheric conditions of the scene give the painting a sense of immediacy and vibrancy. Impression Sunrise is now housed in the Musée Marmottan Monet in Paris, and remains one of Monet's most famous works, as well as an iconic representation of Impressionism as a whole. 11. Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez, 1656. Pictured here is a self-portrait by Velázquez. Las Meninas, or Ladies in Waiting, is a painting by the Spanish artist Velázquez. The painting depicts a scene from the court of King Philip IV of Spain, with the king and queen reflected in a mirror in the background. The central figure of the painting is the Infanta Margaret Teresa, the daughter of the king and queen, who is surrounded by her attendants, or meninas, in Spanish. The painting is notable for its complex composition, use of light and shadow, and the way it blurs the lines between reality and illusion. Las Meninas is considered one of the masterpieces of Western art, and has been the subject of much analysis and interpretation by art historians and scholars. It is housed in the Museo del Prado in Madrid, Spain, where it remains one of the museum's most popular and beloved works. 10. The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch, 1503–1515. Pictured is a portrait of Bosch by an anonymous artist. The Garden of Earthly Delights is a triptych painting created by the Dutch painter Hieronymus Bosch in the early 16th century. The triptych depicts a wide range of bizarre and surreal imagery, including fantastical creatures, humans engaged in various activities, and various landscapes. The left panel depicts the Garden of Eden, the center panel depicts various earthly pleasures and activities, and the right panel depicts the Last Judgment as a hellish landscape. Bosch's painting is noted for its highly detailed and intricate imagery, as well as its use of symbolism and allegory. It has been interpreted in various ways, with some seeing it as a warning against the dangers of hedonism, and others as a celebration of human pleasure and sexuality. Although little is known of the artist's life, the painting itself is considered a masterpiece of Northern Renaissance art, and is housed in the Museo del Prado in Madrid, Spain. 9. The Raft of the Medusa by Theodore Géricault, 1819. Pictured here is a self-portrait of Géricault. The Raft of the Medusa is an oil painting by the French romantic painter Géricault. It depicts the aftermath of the wreck of the French naval frigate Méduse, which ran aground off the coast of Mauritania in 1816. The painting shows the survivors of the wreck huddled together on a makeshift raft, desperately trying to attract the attention of a distant rescue ship. The figures in the painting are depicted in various stages of despair, exhaustion, and hopelessness. The painting is widely considered to be one of the most powerful depictions of human suffering in the history of art. The painting is currently housed in the Louvre Museum in Paris. 8. Arnolfini Portrait by Jan van Eyck, 1434. Pictured is a portrait of a man in a turban by Van Eyck, which some believe is a self-portrait. The Arnolfini portrait is a famous oil painting by the Flemish artist Van Eyck. It depicts Giovanni di Niccolao Arnolfini, an Italian merchant, and his wife, standing in their home in Bruges, Belgium. The painting is known for its incredible attention to detail and realism, and for the symbolism hidden within the composition. The couple is shown holding hands, and the woman's other hand rests on her slightly protruding belly, which has led some art historians to speculate that she may be pregnant. There are also several other symbolic details in the painting, such as the convex mirror in the background, which shows two tiny figures that may represent the couple and the artist, as well as a chandelier with a single burning candle, which may symbolize the presence of Christ. The pooch at their feet some say symbolizes fidelity. The Arnolfini portrait is considered a masterpiece of Northern Renaissance art, and it is currently housed in the National Gallery in London. 7. A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte by Georges Seurat, 1884–1886. Pictured is a portrait of Seurat by artist Ernest Laurent. A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte is a famous painting by the French artist Seurat. It is one of the most well-known examples of pointillism, a technique in which small dots of color are applied in patterns to create a larger image. The painting depicts a scene of leisure on the banks of the Seine River in Paris, with numerous figures, trees, and boats visible in the composition. The people in the painting are shown enjoying a sunny afternoon, with many of them engaged in various activities such as strolling, fishing, and playing musical instruments. Seurat worked on the painting for over 2 years, meticulously applying each dot of paint to create the final image. The result is a stunning example of the precision and control that can be achieved with pointillism, and a beautiful representation of a typical Sunday afternoon in Paris in the late 19th century. Today, A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte is housed in the Art Institute of Chicago, where it remains a beloved and iconic work of art. 6. Liberty Leading the People by Eugene Delacroix, 1830. Pictured here is a self-portrait of the artist. Liberty Leading the People is a painting by the French artist Delacroix. It commemorates the July Revolution of 1830, which toppled King Charles X in France. The painting depicts a woman, personifying liberty, leading a group of French people forward over the bodies of fallen soldiers and towards a barricade in the background. The woman in the painting is often identified as Marianne, the national symbol of France, who represents the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. She is shown holding the French tricolor flag in her left hand and a bayonet musket in her right. The people behind her come from all walks of life, including peasants, workers, and even a young boy. The painting is notable for its use of dramatic, sweeping brushstrokes and vivid colors, as well as its depiction of ordinary people as heroes. It has become an iconic image of the French Revolution, and a symbol of the fight for freedom and democracy around the world. 5. Blue Dancers by Edgar Degas, 1897. Pictured is a self-portrait of Degas. Blue Dancers is a painting by French artist Degas. The painting depicts a group of dancers wearing blue tutus and practicing ballet. It is part of a series of paintings and drawings by Degas featuring ballet dancers, which he created throughout his career. The painting is known for its use of pastel colors, especially shades of blue and green, which create a soft and delicate atmosphere. The dancers' poses and movements are also a prominent feature of the painting, conveying the grace and beauty of ballet. Overall, Blue Dancers is considered a masterpiece of Impressionism, a style of art characterized by its emphasis on light and color, and its ability to capture fleeting moments and emotions. It is housed in the Pushkin Museum in Moscow. 4. The Kiss by Gustav Klimt, 1908. Pictured is a photo of the artist. The Kiss is an oil-on-canvas painting by Klimt, an Austrian symbolist painter, and is considered one of his most famous works. The painting is notable for its erotic subject matter, which was controversial at the time of its creation, and depicts a couple embracing and kissing with the man standing behind the woman and holding her in his arms. The figures are depicted in a highly decorative and ornamental style, with the woman's dress and background in intricate patterns and gold leaf. The painting is now housed in the Österreichische Galerie Belvedere Museum in Vienna, Austria, and is widely regarded as a masterpiece of Art Nouveau. 3. The Beheading of Saint John the Baptist by Michelangelo Marisi da Caravaggio, 1608. Pictured is a chalk portrait of Caravaggio by Ottavio Leoni. The Beheading of Saint John the Baptist is a famous painting by the Italian Baroque artist Caravaggio. It depicts the biblical scene of the execution of John the Baptist. In the painting, John is shown kneeling in prayer, his hands bound behind his back, while the executioner raises his sword to deliver the fatal blow. The scene is set in a dimly lit dungeon, with a single beam of light illuminating John's face and torso, emphasizing the moment of his martyrdom. The figures in the painting are depicted with great realism and attention to detail, with the executioner's bulging muscles and intense facial expression contrasting with John's serene and peaceful demeanor. The painting is notable for its dramatic lighting, which was a signature of Caravaggio's style. The use of chiaroscuro, or the contrast of light and dark, creates a sense of depth and drama in the painting, drawing the viewer's eye to the central figures, and emphasizing the emotional intensity of the scene. Today, The Beheading of Saint John the Baptist is considered one of Caravaggio's greatest works, and is housed in the oratory of St. John's Co-Cathedral in Valletta, Malta. 2. Girl with a Pearl Earring by Johannes Vermeer, 1665. Pictured here is the artist. Girl with a Pearl Earring is a famous painting created by the Dutch artist Vermeer in the 17th century. The painting is an oil painting on canvas, and depicts a young woman wearing a turban and a large pearl earring. The identity of the girl in the painting is unknown, and the painting is believed to be a trony, a type of Dutch painting that focuses on facial expression and character, but is not meant to be an identifiable portrait. The painting is known for its use of light and shadow, which creates a sense of depth and dimensionality in the figure's face and clothing. The girl's enigmatic expression, and the subtle use of color and tone in the painting have made it a popular subject for art historians and enthusiasts alike. Girl with a Pearl Earring is currently housed in the Mauritshuis Museum in The Hague, Netherlands, and is considered one of Vermeer's most famous and beloved works. 1. The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, 1511. Pictured is a portrait of Michelangelo by Daniele da Volterra. The Creation of Adam is a famous fresco painting by Italian artist Michelangelo. It is located on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City, Rome. The painting is one of the most famous and recognizable works of art in the world, depicting the biblical story of the creation of Adam, the first man, as told in the book of Genesis. The painting shows God reaching out to touch the hand of Adam, who is depicted lying on the ground with his arm outstretched, to receive the spark of life from his creator. The image is rich in symbolism, and has been interpreted in many different ways over the centuries. Some see it as a representation of the power of human reason, while others view it as a statement of the divine origin of human existence. The painting is considered a masterpiece of Renaissance art, and is known for its dramatic composition, striking use of color, and intricate details. It is widely regarded as one of the greatest works of art ever created, and remains an iconic symbol of both religious faith and artistic achievement. Of course, there are so many great works of art, and art tends to be subjective and dependent on personal taste, but each painting listed is highly regarded, inspirational, and influential in its own right.